this is what lawlessness looks like. This is what happens when you have a collapse of constitutional government, a collapse of the checks and balances. And it is essential that the American people are informed and that they're informed directly by General Milley. And I would appeal to General Milley to think about his duty in this sense. Is it to advise the president as his principal military advisor, or is it to lay bare the facts of what only he knows what happened? And I think it's the latter, because there's a simple fact. Donald Trump is the front runner to be the Republican nominee in 2024. He's the de facto nominee. He is the leader of a cult of personality that is on the march, on the offense. You see it metastasized and spreading from the bottom up at school board meetings all over the country. The nihilistic embrace of a type of politics where we see a callousness, even including with regard to the death of children who are affected by this Delta COVID variant. So this moment in time that we are seeing and we are witnessing is not about past events. It is about a series of events, a continuum that is unfolding. And before this story is done, Donald John Trump of New York, the 45th president, is surely to try to restore himself to power through an election. And that's why it's so essential that we understand everything that happened, and we understand completely the most perilous moments, who was doing what, even if those people were acting in some level unlawfully or outside of boundaries that were ever previously considered. We, the people, must know the answer to this.
General McCaffrey, let me give you the last word. What is the likelihood? I mean, people like Secretary Mattis must know that this was Trump's nature. People like John Kelly must know what you had heard. Obviously, General Milley is the focus of this reporting, but everyone around the ex-president knows exactly what Steve is describing. And if he remains the leader of the Republican Party, which he is today, and the front runner for the nomination of his party, is there a duty, a special duty from people in the military to speak out about the danger he posed to the country?
Well, you know, I've read every one of these brilliant books that have come out over the last year, and they're just stunning, and they're depressing to read. But I've never learned a thing, in essence, that I didn't already know from contemporary news reporting and from listening to Mr. Trump himself. We knew he was a lawless buffoon, and he had a hold over the Republican Party in Congress and governors. It was an out-of-body experience. So, you know, I think we already know what General Milley thought, and all this, by the way, is in writing. For sure, if you demand as a congressional subpoena the emails, the letters, all this is documented. What isn't documented is the American people better never elect a president with a lack of character and integrity like Mr. Trump.
It's such a good point, and I know it's a view you share, Mike, that a lot of what Trump did, the most awful things he did out loud or on his own Twitter feed. It's a stunning new look at a chapter that, as you're saying, General, was very much scrutinized. A lot of it happened in plain view, but it's still remarkable to read it in print. Mike Schmidt, General Barry McCaffrey, Steve Schmidt, thank you all so much for starting us off today. When we come back, voters